Welcome to the Nagual Zone. I'm Anaam. Today we are going to seek advice from the only worthy advisor for the Toltec warrior. And that the only worthy advisor for the Toltec warrior is her death. Your death is capable, qualified to advise you about the right way to live your life. Only your death. Not the gurus, not the sad guru, happy guru, Dalai guru, Lama gurus, none of these people. They're all useless idiots. They really are. But if you ask your death, as far as Toltec warriors are concerned, we don't waste our time with the average man's consensus insanity club leaders. We go straight to our death and we ask the question that plagues us and we listen. I will today show you what that actually means. What does it mean? What did I just say? It sounds amazing, right? It sounds really wow. Oh, death is the advisor. You have no clue, do you? You have no idea what I just said. You have no idea. And today I will explain, hopefully make it clear, and I will tell you what to look for inside yourself, in your life, so that you know that you are making headway in that. Let me start with a story that just happened recently. I was in a call with one of my apprentices, and the topic turned to her reporting to me that she had a realization, and that at work, she had worked there for a long time, and at work, she had realized that whenever people or clients or whoever are harsh with her, unkind or really rude or whatever, then, low energies that are being experienced, it is because they are in pain, and this is the way for them to lash out. And it is best to remember that this person is in pain, they're hurting somehow, they have the problem is in their, they're discontent with something inside themselves. It's got nothing to do with me, and so I can it helps me detach from that and really just deal with it in a calm and composed manner, and I can keep my inner peace intact. Sounds fantastic, right? It is. It's amazing. It really is. All these Buddhist monks, Dalai Lama lives in India, right? He's literally taken over. I don't think he even pays any taxes. Lives for free. These guys will tell you exactly this. All the Buddhists, peace and compassion. They will tell you all about this stuff. You should understand the other person is hurting. That's why. Oh. And I just listened and I'm like, yeah, I can totally see why this would make perfect spiritual sense to the average man, as it is still making sense to you right now. However, I will present to you the warrior's side of things, and you will suddenly see, you will have the Sherlock Holmes effect. I've talked about this before, where Watson is very puzzled. How did Sherlock Holmes know all these deductions? And then when Sherlock Holmes explains the deductions, Watson goes, oh, it was so simple, Mr. Holmes, right? I'll give you the Toltec warrior's perspective, and we will compare these two perspectives, and we'll see what happens. And she said, so this helps me. I'm leaving work very soon, and this helps me. It wasn't exactly how this went, but I'm kind of making it up for effect so that we can convey a specific mindset or knowledge to you. And this is the way for me to live in peace, and so on and so forth. I said, okay. Toltec warriors have another way to do this. But first, let's just project 5 years from now, someone who practices this approach diligently. Because there was a key word she said. She said, I must always remember. Yeah, you've got to remember, right? You have to always remember, yeah, they're hurting, and we must keep our inner calm, inner peace, yes. We must do all that, right? Then I asked her, okay, does one have to remember, once we have lied, once we have uttered a lie, how much do you have to remember to keep that lie going? She said, yeah, we have to remember to keep the lie going. I said, okay, there's another problem with lies, is that now you have to lie another lie to keep this lie going as well. Because lies never come in ones, they come in the millions. Now you've got 2 lies running inside you, and to keep those 2 afloat, you're going to lie a couple more times and invent new lies to keep that story floating. Now you've got 4 lies you're dealing with, and you have to constantly remember the nature of each lie that you've been either telling yourself or telling others, or a combination of both, which is pretty much always the case with you, isn't it? So, this is 5 years later, this person who's having to remember, yeah, you don't have to remember truthfulness. You don't have to remember honesty, but you do have to remember to repeat lies. Remember this one. 5 years later, I asked her, so what's next now? Once you become really proficient at remembering that others are in pain and we must calm our spirit and be detached, you're gonna get some white robes and some beads maybe, and a nice tilak as well, and and we were laughing, it was a joking moment. Why was I saying all that? Because lovely as this concept sounds, and the Dalai Lamas and these idiotic monks with bald heads and with their red robes, and they're all making videos on YouTube with millions of views, and Rinpoche this and Gringo that, or whatever they call themselves, right? Just nonsense, spouting nonsense, never knowing that they are miseducating the masses. These are fools who are lying to themselves and others. Fools leading the blind to the valley of death, all the while thinking that they're doing the world a huge favor. It doesn't work like that. Warriors have a different perspective. I said to her, what if you were able to leave work with another perspective? Because she had reported before that, now that I'm leaving work, my attitude has changed towards my co-workers, towards everyone. And I feel very easy. It's like if they do something, I already know I'm leaving anyway. So it's okay, we don't have to take it. It's no big deal. I don't sweat about the small stuff anymore. If someone didn't do something on time, it's okay, I'm leaving anyway, so they can sort it out. She had mentioned that before. I said, what if the Toltec warrior had another perspective which brought this ease that naturally arises out of you because you know you're leaving work? The Toltec warrior defines their whole life like that. We all genuine Toltec warriors know and live as if they are going to die. I made a video on this last year. This is an evidence, a testimony to how deeply away from reality you really are, that I have to couch it. Listen to this again. You missed it the first time. Listen to this again. Live as if you are going to die. Why do I have to put as if in there? Think about this. These are indicators of your brainwashing. You don't have to live as if. You are going to die. You are. But the doublethink is so strong that we have to put another doublethink in your mind. Okay, if you can just pretend that you're going to die, at least try and live pretending that you're going to die. That's how thick the walls are. The walls of numb and dumb, ignorant, stupid, lacking complete common sense. And nothing I just said is inaccurate about you. Think about this. Think. You will die, but have you ever lived as if you will? I'll tell you something else. If tomorrow your white people in their white coats, you went into their office, it's an office, it's called a hospital, but it's a workplace, and you actually go into an office. It's just like an office for anything else. You go into the white man's white coat office, and they tell you got 2 months to live because you got whatever grade 5 cancer, whatever these people talk about, nonsense. You have such terminal cancer, right? You have 2 months to live. You will come out of that office a changed person, because now you know, just like my apprentice, that you're gonna leave very soon. You'll come out very changed. All those jibes and all those little niggly bits that you have problems with your family, yeah, that'll all disappear. You just won't sweat the small stuff. You won't have to remember they're all hurting. I must be calm and patient. Aho! Oh, hail the Buddha! You won't have to do all that nonsense. Right? Life will have taught you more accurately, your death will have given you one final lesson. That the only difference is that Toltec warriors make a conscious effort to live the obvious out. We don't have to live as if we are going to die. We live because we're going to die. Our actions, and so can your actions be the same. Our actions have what Don Juan used to call a peculiar finality to them. It took my apprentice 2 hours to really start to see. And again, I'm embellishing the story a little bit for effect, but the message hopefully goes across. Don't bother with spiritual nonsense that sounds cool. Bhagavad Gita. What? Just Ramayana, Bible, whatever the books, right? Don't bother with all this bullshit. Simply think on your death. You are so far removed from the idea, from the fact of your own death, that you can afford to live as if you will live forever. At the very least, I've verified this. You can verify it too. Ask people, ask yourself. You will always have 20 years at least in your head. You will always have 20 years. It's always like 15 to 20 years. Oh yeah, I've got... You may not say it in words. You may not even have thought it. But if you consciously ask people and start to dig around, you'll find that everyone's got this 20 years to live. What basis do they have for this completely being convinced? Completely. You cannot change that within them. Right? They're emotionally completely convinced that they will live 20 years as an average, sort of ticking along. However, ask that same person, do you know when you will die? They will immediately, very, very intelligent people, right? They will say, oh yeah, no, I don't know. Death is a mystery. We never get to know. And they might even give some spiritual bullshit about it to you, to make them hear themselves being really cool. Then you ask them, do you know when you will die? They will say, well, we don't know. Death can come anytime. Ask them, do you know you will die? Ask these questions. Sometimes you have to ask them again and again. And they will give such amazing answers. Such amazing answers. All the while, George Orwell came up with this amazing idea called doublethink in his novel 1984. If you haven't read that novel, please read it. That's all I'll say. Read it ASAP. Doublethink is a fantastic way to describe this phenomenon, psychological phenomenon that I've just told you. It's a way to deny and acknowledge at the same time. In a room full of 100 people, you can ask everyone, hey, do you know that you will die? Yes, yes, yes. Do you know when you will die? No, no, no. But all those 100 people emotionally have 20 years at least in their head. Warriors are too pragmatic, too sober to be deluded like this, to delude themselves in this way. We walked out of that doctor's office with a terminal disease a very long time ago. And since then, we've been living because we will die, and we live being aware of that fact in each moment. That takes a lot of being present. If you cannot be present, you're trapped in your head, in the past or the future. You're a slave to your mind. There's no way. There's no way. You're better off doing the they are hurt and we should have compassion, because that's all mental stuff, right? You're better off practicing that kind of mental gymnastics. The death as an advisor will really do a number on you. You'll go mad. For Toltec stuff, you have to be sober, cultivate a lot of common sense, and be very, very present in each moment. If you can't do these things, you're better off with the Buddha philosophies and all these philosophies. You're better off with all that. Don't try the Toltec stuff, because you will fail at it each time. It will give you no results. It'll confuse you further, and all you will have is more and more questions. That's all. You're better off doing Bible study and all these kind of things. Do all that and be happy. Try to be happy. However, if you want to know how to use death as an advisor, this is what you look for in your life. Am I living in this moment? Am I living as if I will die? Do I have that ease within me right now? That ease that, you know what? I'm leaving work soon anyway. I'm leaving this job. Do you have that ease? It is possible for you to cultivate that ease by repeating this to yourself. Hey, I'm leaving anytime, and I don't even know when I might get booted out. I'm leaving any day, anytime. Be present and cultivate this attitude. Over time, you will see that it's a much more efficient, natural. You don't have to lie to yourself. You're actually aligning with the factuality of life. You're not having to lie. How do you know they're hurt? They're in pain. We must have compassion. You have no idea what compassion even is. You lie to yourself constantly. You're the most dishonest person you know. How are you going to develop compassion? You're the worst asshole to yourself, aren't you? You are. I know it. I know it. How are you going to... you do all this nonsense. Better to realize the thing that actually is. That you will end. And try and live according like that. Don't worry about getting saved by Jesus and Buddha. Don't worry about all of that. Nothing's going to happen. Just keep in mind that you are going to get booted out of this job and you don't know when. With that, we're going to move on to the masterclass now, Q&A and stuff. I urge you to come and join us each Sunday, 8 p.m. UK. We're on Telegram. Search for the Nagual Zone on Telegram or the Nagual Zone on Telegram for those of you who like the pronunciation that way. And come and join us on Telegram. It's basically, I created it so that like-minded people could come together, say hello to each other, and so on and so forth. With that, walk in freedom. Let me know in the comments what your insights are about this topic, and I shall see you next week. Walk in freedom forever.